I kicked my 8-year-old daughter out of my house. My daughter Mary was my whole world before I met George. When I told her I was getting remarried, she smiled big and said she was happy for me. When I told her she was going to be a big sister, she hugged me tight and said she couldn't wait. But something changed the day I brought the baby home from the hospital. I held her out so Mary could see her new sister, and Mary just stared. "Do you want to hold her?" I asked. Mary took her for exactly 10 seconds before handing her back. "She smells weird," she said, and walked to her room without another word. Over the next few weeks, she gave one-word answers and spent hours behind her locked bedroom door. That's when I found the first drawing on the kitchen table. It was a picture of our family standing in front of our house. George had big red X's over his eyes. The baby was falling from an upstairs window with a smile on her face. I was there, but my entire head was scribbled out in black crayon, so hard she'd torn through the paper. I found Mary in her room and held up the picture. "What is this?" She barely looked up. "I was practicing drawing. Isn't it nice?" The next week, I found another drawing under her bed. She had drawn the baby lying in a crib with red crayon pooling around her head. I showed it to George that night, and he sighed before I even finished talking. "Babe, she's 8 and adjusting to a lot of changes," he said. "Kids draw weird stuff. My nephew only drew car crashes for a whole year." I wanted to believe him, so I dropped it. Then 3 nights later, the baby monitor crackled, and I heard Mary's voice. She was standing over the bassinet whispering, "You took my spot, but I'm gonna take it back. Babies break so easy, everyone would believe it was just an accident." I threw open the nursery door, and Mary turned around with empty eyes. "I was just singing her a lullaby, Mommy. Why do you always think I'm doing something bad?" When I told George what I heard, he rubbed his eyes and said, "You're exhausted. You probably misheard." The next week, I took Mary for ice cream, and on the drive home, she said, "When we get back, can I hold the baby by myself?" As soon as we walked through the door, she went to the nursery and stood there staring into the crib. I watched from the hallway. Without turning around, she said, "Don't worry, Mommy. I'm going to take such good care of her when you're not around." I put a lock on the nursery door and started taking the baby with me everywhere after that, even to the bathroom. Then came the afternoon that changed everything. I was folding laundry when I realized the house was too quiet. I went to check on the baby, and the nursery door was wide open, even though I knew I had locked it. I ran inside, and what I saw made my whole body go cold. Mary was standing at the open window on the second floor, holding her baby sister out over the ledge with nothing but concrete 20 feet below. The baby was screaming, but Mary was calm, like she was holding a doll. She turned and looked at me with a little smile. "I just wanted to show her the birds, Mommy. She really wanted to see them up close." She tilted the baby slightly toward the drop. "Don't you trust me?" I couldn't breathe. I put my hands up and walked toward her slowly. "Mary, sweetie, please stop. The baby is scared." Mary looked down at the concrete and then back at me. "What if I let go right now?" she asked calmly. "Everyone would feel so sorry for you. Daddy might even come back because you'd be so sad." I don't know what my face looked like, but something made her hand the baby over. She walked past me toward her room and whispered, "Maybe next time." I called her father that night. "I need you to come get Mary," I said. "I don't want her to live here anymore." He didn't ask questions. He just said, "I'll be there in the morning." Mary packed her bag and hugged me goodbye like nothing had happened. She put her lips right against my ear and whispered, "I'll see my sister again soon." Then she smiled, got in her father's car, and they drove away. I was relieved my daughter was gone, and I will hate myself for that every single day.